It's Monday morning, 8 o'clock, July 7th, 7/7. Thanks for joining us on ARC Rochester. I'm Abi Fridmann.
Oh, how do you like that? 7/7.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
In 2077, the date will be 7/7/77.
I can't wait.
How do you like that? We've got 2 full hours to get through, so let's run down what we have brewing for you this Monday.
All right, so this morning we're getting ready to soar into history and innovation with the upcoming Geneseo Air Show. We're looking ahead to some of the thrilling activities that everyone in the whole family can enjoy.
Then the JCC CenterStage is bringing a classic novel to life on the stage in a special musical adaptation. We're going to travel to the secret garden and learn more from the director and cast member.
And then coming up later, Mental Health Monday, our friend Tanviara Caputi will join us to talk about how we can support our friends when they're going through a tough time.
But before all of that, we do want to turn our attention to the forecast because it seems like it's going to be a bit gloomy out there as we make our way into the later morning hours, but muggy all day long. Meteorologist Marty Snyder over there in the Weather Center. Marty, are we going to see any breaks after that initial rainstorm moves through?
I think so, yeah. As we head deeper into the afternoon, we may see a little improvement there as far as losing some of the shower activity and thunderstorm activity. But we are starting off with at least the cloud cover in the process of building in. That's going to help out a little bit, of course. But we are starting off with numbers mostly well into the 70s. That dew point continues to creep up a little bit, and that's going to continue that upward trend today. So 78 right now, dew point in the mid-60s. And we do have a heat advisory that goes into effect beginning late morning, extending into the afternoon. The potential is there for many of the heat indices to reach into the 90s, likely somewhere in the mid-90s, which does trigger that heat advisory. And that's in effect for different counties in yesterday, mainly for the Genesee Valley and points east and Wayne County, Finger Lakes under that during the day today. And it may be a story where we reach that peak temperature right around the middle of the day, early afternoon, and then any of those thunderstorms would tend to pull temperatures back just a little bit. Still humid, though. 88 as we head towards noon, and then pulling back to about 83 by 4 p.m. And then longer term, we do see numbers drop back a little more as we head into tomorrow, about 79 then, and we just kind of level off in the 80s for highs as we head through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So overall, feeling pretty summer-like for a lot of the week. We see numbers pull back a little bit tomorrow, but still stay mainly in the 80s for quite a few of these upcoming days.
Indices, another one of the plurals that I thoroughly enjoy. Indices, attorneys general.
Exactly, yeah.
You gotta love them, right?
Chills, grammar chills.
I know.
Plurals.
I know. All right, sounds good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, let's go off the top now and start with things that have piqued our interest this morning. I'm going to start off with a question. It's been on my mind for a couple days now. And, you know, I've really been trying to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. You know me, like, I would just kind of stick to the story.
Regimented.
Yeah. I mean, you know me. I like rules. So here's my question. At what point does the greatest of all time step aside? Not because they have to, but because they can. At what point does a person decide that they've done or won it all? So this came into my mind while I was watching the Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest on the 4th of July. Like I've said before, it's disgusting and it's awful and it's horrifying, but it's one of those things where I just can't look away. If you missed it, this is how it wrapped up. Joey Chestnut was back and wasted no time reclaiming his throne after he was banned from the contest last year. We already talked about it. Chestnut ate 70 and a half hot dogs in just 10 minutes. Unhinging his jaw like a snake, he outpaced his runner-up by more than 20 dogs. Over on the women's side, Miki Sudo, again, came out on top, winning her 11th championship with 33 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Second place for the women's side, only 23 dogs. And while that is jaw-dropping, she actually said it was an off day for her. She ate a record-breaking 51 dogs and buns last year. Both Chestnut and Sudo cleaned house this year, like they do every single year. Or I should have said cleaned the fridge. But it begs the question, when you've got nothing left to prove, why keep going? When do you stop going? These competitive eaters are considered athletes, right? It was on ESPN. So let's take a look at it like that. You've got some of the greatest athletes of all time who retired and then ended up coming back to the game and then retired. Tom Brady retired twice. Michael Jordan walked away from basketball twice. Serena Williams hinted at retirement for years before finally stepping away. Muhammad Ali kept going back into the ring even after he had been dubbed the best and the greatest. So why keep pushing? Is it the love of the game? Is it the high of winning? Is it the adrenaline rush? Or is it the fear that once they stop, somebody else will take their place?
The indigestion.
When it comes down to it, Pseudo and Chestnut don't really have close competition anytime soon. The gap between the dogs is wide, and greatness won't last forever. It makes me wonder if it's more iconic to keep holding on to that title or to acknowledge that it's time to let it go. At what point will they, like other athletes, decide that it's time to put the condiments down and let someone else be top dog?
Listen, it's a good question.
Yeah. Because at what point is it like, all right, well, this isn't fun anymore. I have nobody to compete with me. I'm just walking away with the mustard belt every year.
My question is, at what point does your doctor say,
yeah,
you have to stop this?
Sure.
Because I don't care how you look at it, what way you slice the bun. This is not healthy.
Yeah.
It's not.
1,000,000%.
It's not at all.
Just like getting slammed in the face in the boxing ring is not healthy for you.
Sure. Or, getting a concussion on the football field.
Yeah, of
not
course.
healthy.
Yeah. Food for thought, if you will.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say, listen.
I'm sorry. The food is flying from his
I know,
mouth in
it's
these
gross.
pictures.
You know how old he is?
I read it. I just don't remember. Do you know?
Yeah.
How old?
41.
Wow.
He looks...
Careful.
It looks like it's taken a toll on him. I don't think you can eat like that and expect to be in peak shape for performance of just life, just existing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
know what I
don't know
mean?
about that. All I know is that, he is the best for a reason.
Yep.
Right? I mean,
He got it again this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sign off.
Well, I'm not saying that he needs to sign off. I'm just wondering, if you were Joey Chestnut, you've got a stomach ache, probably full of hot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And at what point are you saying, all right, I've had enough. This is getting out of control. I've made my money. I've had my hot dogs, and the mustard belt doesn't fit anymore. Just kidding.
If I'm Joey Chestnut, I would say I would probably come to that conclusion 12 to 14 hours after I ate my last hot dog.
I would have switched to tacos a long time ago.
Oh my God. It's bad.
I don't know. What is your take? When do you say enough?
How
many times do you have to win it?
Me personally?
Because you do risk at some point losing.
Yeah.
And never winning again, and then you never went out on top.
I would like to go out on top, and then I would want to do what the Olympians do, become a trainer, help the next generation. Be like, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna, I'm not actually saying I would do that.
I feel sick just talking.
All right, we got to move on.
I
Doesn't
feel
matter.
sick. Let's move on to my story. For my Off the Top this morning, I've got a burglary story that's out of Texas that shows just how loud and proud some people can be even when they are completely in the wrong. Okay. So in Wichita Falls, Texas, a woman was out of town for 3 weeks when her neighbors caught someone on camera stealing from her home.
Uh-oh.
They took photos. They sent them to this lady while she was still traveling. Excuse me. The woman posted the images to a local Facebook group, hoping to identify the suspect with the caption, "Anyone know who this trash is robbing my house while I'm out of town?" Well, within hours, somebody replied to that post, not only confirming the woman's identity, but basically confessing to the crime. The comment read, "People need to mind their own business. This woman called me trash just because I broke into her home and stole some stuff. She don't even know me."
Oh my God.
She does now. So to be clear, this was not a mistake. This was not an oopsie. This was a full written admission posted publicly to a community page, and the biggest complaint about being called names. That's what you're complaining about. Authorities now say the suspect stole items valued between $2,500 and $30,000. The reason there's such a big estimate right now, don't scroll. The reason there's such a big estimate right now is because the place was trashed so badly, they don't know what's missing.
Oh my gosh.
When the homeowner returned home, she found her house ransacked. She believes someone had been coming and going the entire time she was away. She says they might have been living there
Are you
while
kidding
she was
me?
gone. No joke.
Okay.
Police are still looking for this woman who posted the comment, but says she is facing a theft charge. And honestly, she might also be facing a complete lack of common sense charge as well. It's one thing to steal from somebody, but it's another level of stupid to log on and complain that you're being judged for doing it. If this is the defense strategy, good luck with that, because most jurors don't tend to sympathize with people who announce their crimes on Facebook. The community has rallied, though, around this victim, sending support while police ask anyone with information to contact the local Crime Stoppers organization. And if the suspect is still online scrolling through posts, maybe take this as a sign to put down the keyboard and turn yourself in. Because there are a lot better ways to go viral than becoming a case study in what not to do when you commit a felony. I feel like this woman might have sniffed a little bit too much paint or something, because how dumb do you have to be?
I think it's like a I don't care, you'll never catch me type deal.
They know who you are, and they know you're on the run, and now you risk getting somebody else into trouble hiding out in their basement. You know what I mean?
Or living in somebody else's house.
You know what? That very well may be the case. Very well may be the case.
That's wild.
I certainly hope they catch this woman, because the gall to, you don't know me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do. And you're a piece of garbage. You broke into somebody's home, you got caught, you admitted to it, and now you're on the lam. If that doesn't say trashy, I don't know what does.
I feel like there should be a punishment for people that are convicted of stuff where their punishment is you just lecture them. You are sentenced to one angry lecture from Dan Schrack where you just like shame them. Because like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even the one in trouble.
Listen, a municipality, you can have my resume. I'd be happy to do that. I would be happy to tear into some of the dumbest people on the face of the earth.
All right.
And let them know exactly what I think of them.
If you would like that, email us, news@13wham.com.
Stick around. We've got a lot more to come right here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we're taking a look at some of our top local stories and how you are reacting online to that.
Yeah, don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live right now on the 13wham YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. We're back after this.
8:15 this morning, we are taking a closer look at some of the local stories that are sparking conversation online and finding out where you stand on some of the hottest topics.
All right, so we're going to start out with some concerns from our community over the rules surrounding Rochester police seizing illegal dirt bikes and ATVs.
Yeah, this all stems from that chaotic incident between Rochester police and civilians on Locust Street more than a week ago now, resulting in 2 arrests after a car and minibike crashed. That minibike was later impounded.
As of this month, the Rochester Police Department says it's seized 84 minibikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, and other off-road vehicles so far this year. The first offense incurs a $500 fine, with subsequent offenses costing $2,000.
Pretty pricey. RPD says it can seize vehicles if they're driven on the road or involved in crashes, and there is no need for a search warrant.
Now, this is something that people have been talking about, not just recently, but I think for a few summers now, as we've seen these increase in popularity. Stephannie Joseph is over at the live desk right now giving us a closer look at what some of our viewers had to say. Steph?
Yeah, guys, good morning. It's definitely a talker online, and it has been, as you said, for a couple summers now. One person here, Bill, saying, I support good law enforcement. Those types of situations can get out of control so quickly. People not involved didn't realize what's going on. Please keep up your good work. Another person said, why destroy them? And then Jeff also weighing in, so the people that are using them illegally don't buy them back just to do it again. Another Jeff saying these should be auctioned off to people who can prove they have places to legally ride them. And Thomas also saying curious to know how many are stolen and from where.
I mean, all good questions. I think one of the largest concerns, though, is the public safety aspect of it. When you've got somebody out there on the roadway riding something that's illegal, and we've all seen those cell phone videos. I feel like every summer there's more and more of them, people sitting at a traffic light, and you see 15 or 20 people on ATVs circling cars and blocking traffic at an intersection that should be running smoothly. Someone is bound to get hurt.
Yeah, that is for sure. Having covered Irondequoit's detail that they had just started a few years back, it's definitely an issue that is not just a city thing, but it also goes into neighboring towns. So definitely a lot of people.
Absolutely. And, you know, not just Rochester either. While we look for stories in the morning, I see a lot of that. A lot of other communities, you know, outside of New York State dealing with very similar things. It makes you wonder also, like, the bigger problem here. Who's selling the bikes to the kids? Are the parents involved? You know, there are a lot of questions. How are kids getting their hands on these bikes?
Yeah.
And where are they going?
That is a very good question, too. A very good question to be asking. All right, let's move along now to a truly wonderful story out of Medina. 2 firefighters helped deliver a set of twins on the 4th of July while en route to the hospital.
Firefighters Adam Fisher and Paul Urquhart kicked off their Independence Day celebrations early. The first delivery, a baby boy, occurred at 2:49 a.m. while the ambulance was in Orleans County. 7 minutes later, a baby girl was born in Geneseo County at 2:56 a.m.
How do you like that? Both newborns and their mother are reported to be in good health. Fisher marked his 3rd and 4th field deliveries with this event, while Urquhart experienced his 1st and 2nd field deliveries.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations, first of all, to that family.
Absolutely.
And what a fun story for those kids to tell when they grow up.
Well, and congratulations to those first responders, too.
Yeah.
And good work.
Yeah.
Jeff, what are people saying?
I mean, feel-good stories like this really get people going for all the right reasons online. A lot of people commenting about this story. We'll start with Jim, who said, one of the best calls to have. Congratulations, firefighters. And congratulations, Mom. You will have a unique story to tell. As for Bobby, gentlemen, you will be in the heart of that mother forever. So a lot of appreciation here. And Deborah saying, well done, gentlemen. Barbara also weighing in as well, saying congratulations to the Medina Fire Department on an amazing delivery.
It really is incredible, some of the things these first responders go through, from dealing with, unfortunate cases of people on the worst day they can imagine, to something so precious and incredible as, the birth of the best day this family could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So props to them.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, we're going to switch gears now to a story that has a lot of people disappointed. After 13 years in business, Button Distilling announcing they'll be closing the tasting room doors this Saturday.
Yeah, this closure includes the recently opened space on University Avenue. Button citing the challenging economic times.
Button says it will be holding a final last call goodbye at the University Avenue tasting room this weekend. We have reached out. We're still waiting to hear if any other parts of that business will be impacted.
Steph, what are people saying online? I have to imagine lots of disappointment.
Yeah, that's certainly the best word to describe it. A lot of shock and surprise, too, as this has been something that has been a part of the Rochester area for a while now. Cindy saying the younger generation is not drinking at the levels Gen X did. Bars and nightclubs are all struggling, so kind of pointing out maybe a pattern. Tracy Gibbons Armstrong saying so bummed out, so obviously a lot of disappointment there. Soccer Sam adding, so sorry to hear this. I'm sure many sleepless nights and sacrifices went into operating this business for 13 years and the decision to close it. Dolores also adding, we are so sorry that this has happened to you. Thank you for being such heroes during the pandemic. Andy also weighing in here, we were just there, busy as could be, so sad. So having done stories like this where you go out to businesses, bars specifically, they kind of talk about the challenges of the pandemic sort of continuing on. And now Button just saying broadly about those economic challenges. But it's definitely on the minds of a lot of small businesses here, a lot of them still trying to recover and pick up the pieces.
Yeah, Steph, I want to go back to one of the things, I think the first comment on that slide that we were talking about with the younger generation not drinking as much as other generations. And I think that that's something that could also be tied to the pandemic.
Sure.
During that time, a lot of bars in college towns closed, right? And I think that this kind of like party culture wasn't really encouraged at all during their college years. And now they're up and they're out of college and there's no reason to go to the bar. I mean, think about our intern Abi just turned 21 the other day, and she went out with her friends and then came back to work and said, yeah, and I'm really looking forward to not drinking anymore.
Yeah.
She had her 21st birthday and she said, I don't think I need to be drinking.
Speaking of which, where is intern Abi?
I have heard that she is actually off today.
Oh.
So we should see her tomorrow, I expect.
All right.
Well, listen, maybe she did have a couple of drinks. I'm not judging.
how rumors
I'm just guessing.
start, Daniel.
Yeah, it is how rumors start. Exactly what I was going for.
But getting back on track to Button Distilling, it's very, very sad for their
It is.
business. We have their stuff on our bar cart right now at home, big fans, and it's really disappointing.
Yeah, that last call again though happening on Saturday. And I'm sure this is one of the many stories that will continue to follow for you throughout the week, both on air and online at 13wham.com.
All right, Steph, thanks for the report. We appreciate it. Time right now, 8:23. Oh, friendly reminder, if you comment on our social media pages, you could see some of those comments here on air on Arc Rochester.
Yeah, stick around. We've got a lot more to come right here on Arc Rochester, including when we come back, it's this morning's weather trivia.
Yeah, Mark will be here coming up after this.
You are one segment early.
This is not clipped in. There
Good morning, good morning.
Hello, how are you?
It was actually on, but the back cover wasn't closed. That's weird. Huh.
All right, welcome back. Meteorologist Mark McLean now is here with a look at the cloudy weather for today and our weather trivia too.
Yeah. What should we do the trivia on today?
I don't know. You already made it, Mark.
Did you not already write the question?
I don't know. It's been 5 days.
I know. How was the vacation?
It was good.
Yeah?
It was good.
Did you do anything exciting? Go anywhere?
We
fun?
were in the lake yesterday. It was so hot. I mean, it was 92 degrees, so and we had to find a spot to cool off. The lake, by the way, is a lot warmer than it was a week ago.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
it was probably close to 70, I would say.
Oh, wow.
The shore temp. So
That was quick.
that felt good. Yeah, that felt really good. And then, of course, the 4th, barbecue with family, some of our neighbors. It was great. So it was good.
So are we doing lake temperature for the question of the day?
I started thinking about the tropics because there's that tropical storm down off the coast of the Carolinas. There was one in Texas that had an impact on a story that we have coming up. So let's talk about the tropics. So we're already well into the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. Do you know how many hurricane names are on the list? And even if you don't know, you can figure this out, right? Because they go male, female, right? And not necessarily all of the letters are included, right? So even if you went A to Z, you could come up with a guess there, right? But some of those letters probably don't have storm names.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask for a point of clarification.
Sure.
Do they do Tropical Storm Adam and Tropical Storm Anna? Do they do a male and female with
It goes
the letters that are used?
male and female, but it will go to the next. So if it's Adam, it'll be
Bernice.
Bernice, yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then it'll go back to Cam or something like that for C.
Tropical Storm Cam.
Okay.
Oh,
so
do you remember Cam?
Cam.
Oh, boy.
Working night side now.
he's on the night side. But the choices are 27 names, 21 names, 15 names, or 12 names.
Okay.
for-
Well,
for this
I've
year.
got a pretty good guess,
Yeah.
I would say. Daniel?
I think we'll get a lot of people that'll get this one right.
I think I know.
Yeah.
I think I know.
Yeah. Hopefully we're not talking about one of those names in a forecast near Rochester anytime soon.
Yeah,
would
fingers
be good.
crossed.
Right? Keep those things out of here. But we are talking about heat today in the weather forecast. We've got heat indices that are going to be into the 90s for this afternoon and, coming up after a day yesterday that did reach the 90s. So 4 days already this year in the 90s for Rochester. So we're a little bit above the average pace there. The heat advisory that's in effect today is in effect from late morning into the afternoon. We're going to see some of these heat indexes into the mid-90s this afternoon. So much like yesterday, whatever you did to stay cool yesterday, do that all over again today. Some spots will probably reach the low 90s in the Genesee Valley this afternoon. We're forecasting upper 80s to near 90 in Rochester for the actual high temperature. But we've got some clouds, 78, the southwest breeze at 15, and a dew point at 66. And watch this, that's the point of the forecast that's really going to start to change by this afternoon. Sometimes we say sweat-tastic, that kind of, like sweaty gym socks kind of moisture content in the atmosphere.
We get it.
Yeah,
you get
it's
it?
breakfast, McLean.
76 dew point, look at that.
Like when your legs stick to the chair?
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
You remember that time I took a piece of paper and stuck it to my forehead on the air?
How could we forget?
Just like that. We're not going to relive that moment, by the way, although I'm close right now. 60 dew points overnight, and we get a nice little break into tomorrow. We've got dew points back in the 50s.
You've got a glandular issue, and you need to see a doctor.
There's the storm system that's going to give us a chance for that cool down. That cold front back to the west is going to bring in some cooler and drier air. Also the chance for a passing thunderstorm late this morning into the afternoon. So we'll have to watch that in the forecast. I don't think it's an everywhere deal, but we'll have to keep that in probably through the early evening. It looks like it's going to dry out for us for tomorrow. So the pool forecast looking pretty good, upper 80s. There's that thunder icon in for the afternoon. It's not going to be an everywhere and all the time rainfall, but if you do catch one of those downpours, it could be, on a localized scale, a little prolific in any one spot. We'll get back to the 60s tonight. Any rain fades, lower humidity. That should have said 66, not 72, by the way. Extended forecast, less humidity Tuesday, 83 for Wednesday, 83.
On the job.
I know. 66. That one's right there on the 7-day for the low tonight.
Did you hear that?
I did.
What was that?
What sound effect was that?
What was that?
That was the scariest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What
Where
was
did
it?
that come
I have
from?
no idea.
Was that over the air? Oh,
Oh, it's someone's mic.
someone's mic.
I think it's yours, Dan.
Mic check, mic check. I can still hear myself.
Is everybody at home hearing that?
That's weird.
Yeah. Okay.
It sounds like a clown horn.
Sounds like a door that needs a
Because
little
the
bit of
weather
oil.
is so laughable.
Ha ha ha. I think, the graphic that you have that
Yeah.
takes us to the pool.
Yeah.
And you've got the chair. And we used to have a political figure sitting
still
in that
do.
chair.
We
Yes. Well, listen, I want a
Two
new one.
of them.
I think we need one with you sitting
Okay.
in that chair.
Like with too much sunscreen on and like a big white dab on the end of my nose.
Yeah, some zinc oxide,
Yeah.
those
Little sunburn on
those
top.
white thighs.
Yeah.
To the sky. Yep. I listen. Give the people what they want to see, McLean.
Nobody makes
Trying to increase the ratings. Dan.
nobody has dad trunks anymore.
No.
What are dad trunks?
We were talking maybe down to the knee. Now they're.
Yeah, producer Ashley, idea for a segment maybe next year. Summer shopping with Mark. He spent part of his weekend buying shorts. We don't know
We can do a
stylists.
haul, so we don't have to wait till next year. We can
That's
do
not a bad
a
idea.
haul with Mark.
Caught
Yeah.
some deals though. Caught some deals. Never been to Sierra before.
What is
Never,
that?
That's
You'd never been.
never been.
What is it?
You
Never
don't
been
even
in
know.
my life.
Think of like TJ Maxx, but for active wear.
Yeah, TJ Maxx
Where is
Hampton?
married Marshalls.
It's right.
Yeah.
You know where the Home Goods and
Yeah.
over on Jefferson.
Yeah.
Same
Right
plaza.
behind the Bellas there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh. I'm going to have to go there, and we have to wrap it up. So don't go anywhere. When we come back, a lot more to come here on ARC Rochester.
Yeah, we're back after this. It up. All right, if we could just get a mic check from you guys.
Just
Yes.
there,
Mic
yep,
check, 1,
just
2,
like
3,
that.
4, 5.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Excellent.
Perfect.
We're good to go. Did you guys have a good holiday weekend?
We did. Busy. We're rolling in.
8:35, thanks so much for sticking with us this Monday morning here on ARC Rochester. And this morning, we want to look ahead and look up to the Geneseo Air Show.
Yeah, it is known as the greatest show on turf, and it's flying back into town this weekend.
It certainly is. For more, we're joined now by Tina Gilmeister, the Air Show's director, and Craig Wadsworth, who oversees maintenance and ground operations. Thank you both so much for waking up bright and early and coming in. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having us. We're glad to be here.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in and talk about the show. What can people expect this year?
Tina?
We have a really great lineup this year. Our theme is Battles of the Pacific, and we're highlighting 4 key moments in the Pacific theater from World War II. In the start out, we're going to have the Tora 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 reenactment of Pearl Harbor, and we're also highlighting the Doolittle raid with 4 B-25s in the air at once. And then we're going to highlight the Flying the Hump missions, where we dropped supplies after flying over the Himalayas. It was a very precarious mission. And at the end, we're going to highlight the VJ Day flyover with mass formations celebrating our victory. We also, and always a highlight and crowd favorite, are our jet demo teams from the military that are big supporters of the Geneseo Air Show. We have the F-18 demo team coming in this year and the F-35 demo team coming in this year.
How
Very
cool is that? All right, for somebody who's never been to an air show, kind of paint us a picture of what the day looks like. Is it just kind of like, chaos in the skies or,
It may look like it, but we have a very well-trained and well-experienced air boss who is in charge of air operations. We have a schedule that will be published later this week. There's always last-minute adjustments, but we'll be flying from approximately 10:30 in the morning till about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It always shifts around a little bit. We try to keep it mixed up. We have world-famous aerobatic performers coming in to show people what they can do with an airplane. We have World War II aerobatic teams coming in, and then we'll be doing some practice cargo drops, and again, in memory of the Himalaya mission. So it will be a busy day, both in the air and on the ground. We have children's activities. We have a veterans moment where we thank the veterans that are in attendance. We have a lot going on, vendors for food and memorabilia and other things. So gates will open at 8:30 in the morning, and it will be a busy day all day long for the public.
It's an absolute blast for event goers who show up. But I want to know, from a behind-the-scenes perspective, from the two of you, what is your favorite part of the entire thing?
For me, my grandfather was on the California at Pearl Harbor when the attack happened. And it's a very awe-inspiring moment to be looking up at the sky and knowing that you're standing in the footsteps of those heroes that came before you.
Wow, that is powerful.
Yeah.
And for you?
And I see, so much of what we do is outreach to young people. I absolutely love seeing young people appreciate the machines that tell the story of the people that were involved. They get a chance to see, hear, smell, and watch the airplanes operating, as opposed to seeing pictures or a video or something like that. When people visit the museum, we encourage them to touch, to go inside airplanes, and again, to use that as a vehicle to tell the stories, not only of the people, but the aviation technology changes, and talk to them about opportunities for their own futures in the aviation industry. And we go to schools as well to give people, or young people, a breadth of the opportunities that are available, and I really love doing that.
It's very cool.
It really is, yeah. And my husband and I went a couple years back, and I think we do plan on going again this year. And it's so interesting because it's not like you're just sitting there the whole time. There are opportunities to walk around and look at the different displays and the exhibits, and there are vendors, and it really is. It's unique, I would say.
We do. The museum is open to all the people that come, obviously no extra charge. We have a reenactor area where people exhibit the materials and equipment and items that were used by the service members. We invite teams that reenact British, American, and other nationalities, so they have a chance to talk and get a lesson on what it was like to live in the field during the war. And so, yeah. there's a tremendous amount to do.
The planning and coordination that goes into this, I can't imagine it's, we figure it all out a month in advance. Do you start as soon as you end the air show?
Even before.
Even before, so we're already planning 2026.
Correct.
Wow.
That's incredible.
We're actually already planning 2027.
Oh, wow.
We're
really?
having initial conversations about what we want to focus on, we're talking to the military about the assets that they have that might be available, also talking to civilian acts, because many of us they're working that far out in advance. So it's preliminary planning at this point. We always say the future is tomorrow in this business, so we can't rest on our laurels.
Wow.
We take about a week to breathe deep after the show, and then it's right back into it.
And back in business. Thank you both so much for coming in today. We really appreciate it. Would you say that this is bigger and better than ever this year?
Last year we had a new management team, and I'll say it, Tina took over as Air Show director last year, and we had one of our best years in the last few dozen years, and this year we're hoping to build on that success. So a lot of credit goes to Tina and her team of directors that took planning and, again, operating a year in advance and starting to ask those questions to get things in line.
We really do have a great team. We have over 300 volunteers. This is an all-volunteer run air show, which I think is incredible, the power in that.
Yeah.
And same for the museum in general. The maintenance team, the building maintenance, everything is all done by volunteers, our pilots and all. So
Phenomenal.
we could not do it without them.
Well, thank you again both so much. We really appreciate it. If you want to head out, we'll post all of the information you need to know to go on our website, foxrochester.com, after the show this morning.
Much more to get to coming up on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we'll be joined by Mark and Marty for a closer look at that flooding in Texas.
Hey, and don't forget, you can take us on the go wherever you are. ARC Rochester is streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel and on foxrochester.com. Stick around. We're back on the other side of the break. Just take the ground course with me. His plan was
Check,
nothing.
check, check. Mic check.
Hello, Mike.
I think I'm on.
He's on.
Hello, hello.
It was to show up because I had already paid for it, so he did. I don't.
(8:44), welcome back. We're continuing to follow the desperate search for survivors that's underway in central Texas. We're talking about that catastrophic flooding that wiped out entire communities.
Yeah, torrential rain triggered that flash flooding that swept through homes, roads, and a girls' summer camp, leaving behind a trail of destruction. At last check, more than 80 people are confirmed dead, including 28 children.
State officials fearing that number could rise as rescuers and loved ones of those missing dig through some of that devastation.
For more, we're joined now by meteorologists Mark McLean and Marty Snyder to talk about the ongoing weather patterns that they are still seeing in Texas. Gentlemen, thank you for being part of this conversation this morning. It's really unimaginable what they're going through.
Yeah. You know, imagine being a parent and you send your child to a summer camp, and here we are. I mean, that part of the story is it's just gut-wrenching. I mean, for all those folks down there.
So what created this storm that caused such catastrophe in a matter of minutes? We saw time-lapsed video of one of the rivers there, rising over the course of 10 minutes, and it changed the landscape of that entire community.
Yeah, so I guess nothing happens in isolation in weather, right? It really comes down to two different systems. I mean, look at this time lapse. This is
it's unreal.
It's unbelievable.
And especially look at the timestamp in the corner there and how fast that did happen, over 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, and we do have a scene on our weather graphics that kind of illustrates how something like this can take place in weather. And there's a storm system down to the south. You see that little dotted line that goes across the Yucatan Peninsula, then back into the Gulf of Mexico. Eventually, that low just stalls out in parts of Mexico, and there's a blocking high off to the east of Texas. So, Marty, when we look at this, I mean, there's just nowhere else for it to go, right?
Right, and that's it. It just stalled over that one area. The other thing to consider is the fact that in that one part of Texas is called the Hill Country.
Yeah.
You have that the orographics, the topography that really helped to funnel all that rain into those narrow areas, into the creeks, and caused that just awful devastation that we did see.
Yeah, and water is not compressible. The atmosphere is. You can squeeze it into your lungs. You can change the volume, the space it takes up, but you can't grab a handful of water and squeeze it. It just comes out of your fingertips. So it has to go somewhere. You can't change the size and the shape of it. It's got to run off to somewhere, and that's what happened down there. So that we do have some of the rain amounts. You won't believe some of this. I mean, this is what, 2/3 of Rochester's annual precipitation on some of these top six. I know you went through. Oh, that's not the right one. Hang on, let me go grab the right image and load it on in there.
A little bit
that was from last week when we had the heavy rainfall around here. Here's the Texas flooding.
And it's a lot of these numbers that we did see. Yeah, there we go. Some of those numbers, 20 inches of rain, 21 inches of rain. And, you think of that short-term time frame that came in. And then you put, as we were talking about before, that topography. And on top of that, it just funnels that excessive amount of rain into those small areas and just causing that horrible video that we showed there.
And you saw some of the rain amounts. That was from that flooding that we had locally. Was it about 10 days ago? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Something like that. So, and that caused 3 inches of rain caused, pretty exceptional flooding for this area. And, imagine 6 times that amount of rain.
Right. Yeah.
In such a short amount of time for all of it to fall.
I mean, not enough time for everybody to make it out of that area. We've been reading stories and reports, and so many people are saying, they got the alert and they started packing up their camp, and then by the time they were getting ready to go, their car was floating away, which is incredible when you think about just how powerful that water really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about getting that message. The one thing that I brought from the weather office is we have, they have the weather radios that are still being used. They still put out the signal, and you can have one of these in your house or battery, have a battery backup on it, and you can program these with your county. So they have a technology in there where you can say, okay, I live in Monroe County. You type in the specific county code, and then every time that the tone is sent out for Monroe County or Ontario County or wherever you live, you get that warning. It activates the radio immediately, so you get that information. Lots of times you have to consider the fact that with your cell phone, the tower may be within 5 miles or so. So if power goes out, you lose that one radius. But sometimes the towers for these are a little bit farther away, and you may still have power for the transmitter site there. So that's one reason why you could get the message on here, but not on your phone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is
And our weather app, I have to say too, if you do have cell service, the weather app works everywhere. And even if you're in Austin or San Antonio, wherever, you're getting some of this heavy rain, our weather app works in all those spots too.
What kind of extreme weather will this alert to?
any type of warning, tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, flood warnings, any type of warning that you program it for, it'll set the alert off and it'll set the alarm off, and then you hear the message as it plays what's on air following that tone.
It's loud. Okay. It's loud too. The tone that goes off, it'll startle you.
That'll wake you up.
When it hits. Yep.
Yeah.
That's really incredible. But Mark, as you mentioned with the 13 WHAM Weather Authority app, that also has alerts and alarms that go off anytime there's severe weather in the area where you are with your phone.
Yeah, and if there's a public weather emergency, they're going to send tones out to the phones. Occasionally everyone's phone goes off at the same time. You hear that tone and you're like, uh-oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
Same deal.
Really incredible. Well, listen, thank you both. We appreciate it. We appreciate the insight as well.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Time right now is 8:50. Much more to come this morning on ARC Rochester.
Don't go anywhere. We're back on the other side of the break. Sure.
Sarah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you both for coming in. Can we just have you both do a quick mic check? Just say mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You good?
Good.
Thank
you.
Very good.
$8:52 this Monday morning. We are taking you behind the curtain this morning as JCC's CenterStage Theatre prepares to bring a classic novel to life with an upcoming musical production.
Yeah, The Secret Garden is a Tony Award-winning show, and it's going to run for a week starting this Saturday. Getting ready for the show, we have director Sarah Bickweet-Penner and cast member Katie Claire Dobbins with us to talk about it. Good morning to you both. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
All right, so this is, it's a classic novel, but for somebody who's unfamiliar, give us a quick overview of the plot of the story.
Well, Mary Lennox is in India, and her family passes away from the cholera, and she's sent back to Yorkshire, England to live with her uncle in his manor house. And that house is a very sad place. He has lost his wife. His Colin, their nephew, is thought to be very sick, and she, through the help of the people in the world, like the servants and the gardener and all of the ghosts of people past, including Lily, who was Colin's mom, kind of bring this manor back to life through the magic that lives in Colin's mom's garden.
The Secret Garden.
The Secret Garden.
The Secret Garden.
Yes.
And who do you play in the show?
I play said lost mom. I play Lily in the show, who, although is a ghost, is seen kind of guiding her husband and her son, which I think is what makes the show so special, because if the show were a true story, you don't get to see that side of our world. Like, of course, Lily would have been there. She would have been guiding them, looking over them, but we wouldn't see that, and neither would they. But the Secret Garden, you really get to see that full picture, which is so beautiful and healing, and getting to see our lost ones kind of guiding us through a new and better way of living.
Wow, it sounds like a beautiful production.
What is it like staging a show like this? A classic that some people may have, I mean, there's multiple movie versions, there have been stage productions. When you're putting it on its feet here, what is that like to try and add your own special touch to it?
It's been amazing, actually. When I first was asked to work on the project, I said, okay, great. I really want to do this. And I want to think about how to tell this story differently than maybe we would read it in the book that was written, you know, at the turn of the century. And so we have worked with a cultural collaborator, Namrata Nagar, who's helped us learn about Hindi language and culture, because there are songs and characters within the play that speak Hindi, including Mary's nanny, or her Aya, that follows her back to help protect her through the story. And we also have the actress who is playing Aya, who is an Indian classical dancer. So she has a part of the story where she uses her healing dance to help Colin walk again. Yeah, so it's been really fun to think about how do we tell this story now as we celebrate all different cultures in our storytelling. As we have an opportunity, this cast goes from the age of 10 all the way to 35. You know, how do we have the opportunity to mindfully tell this story today and celebrate all of those different components. So it's been a really fun learning process for all of us.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much for coming in today. We appreciate it. For somebody who'd like to come see the show, how do they get tickets? What do they need to know?
You can go to the JCC CenterStage website to get tickets. Our show runs from Saturday the 12th through Sunday the 20th. And
Yeah.
we hope to see you there.
Very good.
Sounds good. And we'll post all of that information and much more on our website after the show this Monday morning, foxrochester.com.
Much more to get to coming up. We are back right after this.
Okay, I was like, the other music is still playing. Can you hear? Coming up in today's Political Pulse, we take a deep dive into the One Big Beautiful Bill after it was signed into law. I speak with a tax specialist to discuss how some tax cuts, part of the bill, could impact your wallet. That's all coming up in our 9 o'clock hour. Arc Rochester returns after this.
O'clock on this Monday morning, July 7th. Thanks for staying with us on Arc Rochester. I'm Abi Fridmann.
And I'm Dan Schrack. Meteorologist Mark McLean joining us once again for another check of the forecast, as well as the answer to this morning's weather trivia.
Yeah, it's about the tropics. It's that time of the year. You know, we start to track thunderstorms up here, and the water is heating up in the Gulf of Mexico, the Atlantic Ocean. So it is technically storm season. So check out the weather trivia for today. And we're talking about the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. Do you know how many hurricane names are on the list this season? And the choices were 27 names, 21 names, 15 names, or 12 names on the list.
Think I know.
Yep.
Julie, Yvonne say B. Michael, Cheryl, and Joshua all went with C.
I'm going B as well. I'm going 21 names.
That sound about right?
21 names. That's what I was going to go with too, but there are a lot of people that are saying C. But I'm going to stick with B.
All right. We're going to get this week off.
Nice.
On the right foot, 21 names. Yeah, and it's interesting because the only names that are left off are names that start with the letters Q, X, Y, and Z this season. So we don't have any. We don't have any.
Why is that?
I think it's probably just the difficulty of finding maybe enough names, because what ends up happening, we'll have a big storm that a Katrina, or one of the big ones that everyone remembers. It'll go in and it'll get retired. Yeah. So you have to have another name to replace that name on the list, and probably run short on names pretty fast than the X's and Q's. I don't know.
What about, I don't know, Quinn?
Yeah.
Quincy.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just.
That would get. That would get us.
Yeah, Queenie.
That would get us through.
Hurricane xylophone.
That just rings terror into you.
Right,
Doesn't it? They should make these scary names, right? And people pay attention to them.
Yeah.
Right? But that was the old trivia today. Marley is a big fan of the show, by the way.
Thanks, Marley.
Love this.
Marley has the mail in her mouth.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Oh, do we go out and we collect it right from the mailman, maybe?
I think that was the story, right?
Or is that a love letter that she's written to Arc Rochester that she's getting ready to post?
We see a bunch of Marley. Marley's fun, but could be some wet paws late this morning into the afternoon. We'll have to watch for that chance for a passing thunder shower. We'll keep you posted on that tomorrow. And Wednesday looked pretty good, and just an isolated chance on Thursday. I think we'll leave that in there. But again, none of these days are going to be a washout. In fact, today's story is actually on the other end of the spectrum. Another heat advisory for most of western New York. The exception are western counties. This is from 11 a.m. through 6 o'clock this evening. A cold front's going to go through. It's going to cool things off for us, so it's not going to last too much longer. But we're in the upper 70s to near 80. That's a warm start. The dew point's at 67, and that number is actually going to get into the 70s this afternoon. So this is the how you feel temperature. It's going to feel like it's in the mid 90s. Now, just to explain this through.
Look at that.
You're not going to go up your thermometer and it's not going to say 96.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
This is that combo package of basically how you're going to feel: relative humidity plus air temperature that makes it feel like it's in the mid 90s this afternoon. But here's what's going to cool us off. It's a cold front back to the west. That cold front's going to drag through and give us that chance for a passing shower, clap of thunder. There's the forecast into the afternoon, and you see by 1, 2 o'clock, that chance goes up, especially east of Rochester. But by late this evening, that chance goes down. And it's a mostly cloudy night tonight. It's not going to be as uncomfortable tonight. That dew point's going to drop back for us. So we'll see that temperature back in the mid 60s tonight, as opposed to being in the 70s out there this morning. But mid 80s, if we get a little sunshine this afternoon and avoid that thunder shower threat, mainly at the airport, we may come close to 90. We'll see if we do get there. It would be the 5th time this season. And the 7-day forecast does show less humidity for Tuesday, some sunshine there into Wednesday, 83, some morning showers and thunder possible on Thursday. I think most of that day ends up being dry. Still warm for Friday with temps in the mid 80s, and Saturday, Sunday, we're still in the 80s. This is a classic summer forecast for folks that have a pool, for anybody that loves the heat and humidity. You're going to love the forecast.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, that heat and humidity is pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
It does make sleeping some nights a bit uncomfortable.
You're finding different ways to stay cool. If you don't have the air conditioning, that fan is really going. And, nights like last night, not too much of a breeze out there, but, when it doesn't get out of the low to mid 70s, it's tough because the inside of the house doesn't cool off.
Nope.
And, you start, obviously, everybody perspires when it gets like that. So you start dehydrating a little bit too. So you have to stay hydrated.
And you can only stand in front of an open freezer door for so long before you think about the electricity bill. Am I right?
True. Yeah. Or somebody's nudging you away saying it's my turn.
Yeah, it's my turn. Get out of the way. The ice cubes are melting. All right, McLean, thank you.
Yeah.
Much more to come this morning on Arc Rochester, including when we come back, we're taking you behind the story this Monday morning.
Hey, and don't forget, you can take us on the go wherever you are. Arc Rochester is streaming live right now on the 13 WHAM YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. Stick around. We're back after this. Welcome back at 9:10, and this morning we're going behind the story as Elon Musk, once a vocal supporter of President Trump, now floats the idea of launching a new political party.
While many Americans have long expressed support for a viable third option, no third party has ever gained any real traction.
National correspondent Christine Frizzau takes a closer look.
In response to the big, beautiful bill becoming law, the world's richest man says he's moving ahead with a promise he made to form a third political party in a country that has really ever only had two. Posting on his site X, when it comes to bankrupting our country with waste and graft, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy, announcing he's formed the America Party, garnering reaction from the other two sides of the aisle.
And so to the extent that this effort would divide conservatives and Republicans against each other, that would be helpful because it would leave the country to people who want unfettered immigration, who don't share your fiscal views, and so on and so forth.
I don't know that we want a billionaire who is frustrated about the way things have transpired over the last 6 months to be using his money and influence to start a political party.
Musk, who helped propel Donald Trump to a second term in the White House, spending $288 million on his campaign and working with him as the head of Doge, appears to be having a change of heart, a clear sign their bromance is well past its breaking point. Trump calling Musk a train wreck.
I think it's ridiculous to start a third party. We have a tremendous success with the Republican Party. The Democrats have lost their way, but it's always been a two-party system.
Gallup has been asking the question in its poll for decades, and only once, back in 2003, did a majority of Americans not support the idea of starting a third political party. The latest poll found nearly 60% of Americans are in favor of the idea. So why hasn't it happened? The requirements for third parties to qualify for each state's ballot can be enormous. Another hurdle, the fact that if an election is close, voters' courage to try something new often fades away.
People are oftentimes very motivated by the fear of the other side. And so when it comes down to it, when they get into the voting booth, they just can't pull that lever for the third party candidate.
An undaunted Elon Musk pushing ahead, vowing to be involved as soon as next year's midterm elections. I'm Christine Frizzau reporting.
Now, as we heard Christine Frizzau report there is a growing call to see a third party, a viable third party that could be the voice of maybe more Americans than either the GOP or the Democratic Party currently in power, because neither are very reflective of what many people say was party stances 15, 20, 30 years ago. But it could also, feed on cracks that are currently in the system. And depending on how Elon Musk angles this, I could see this further dividing the GOP party and it becoming a real loss for Republicans, as he may try and get more Democrats elected in the midterms because specifically of EV mandates that he's upset about.
So, yeah, that is a really good point. And, right now it seems like both sides, both the left and the right, there are, like you said, significant cracks. Mm-hmm. You've got the people on the left, right? You've got those that are very far to the left and then those who are more moderate. And then you have very far right Republicans, and then you have those that are called rhinos, right? Like Republican in name only. Mm-hmm. And it'll be very interesting to see how the people, I would say, more in the middle align with the views that Elon Musk is proposing for this new party. Mm-hmm. Over the weekend, when this idea was kind of being floated around by Elon Musk on social media, he was posting a lot on X and has been, honestly, all night and into the early morning hours.
I would expect no less.
And he's getting a lot of likes and comments, and he's calling it super fun. That's like, he seems very energized about this, which is just, it's very interesting. You know, you think of politics and you think of everything like being very like law and order and formal, and he's tweeting, this will be really fun.
Well, the interesting part about that is all of these posts are going on X. X, which we have seen since he purchased that platform and since he really started to dive into the political pool, has been very, it's a megaphone for the GOP. That's what that social media platform has become. And I think by him doing this, that's immediately feeding on that rift that already exists. People who want to be considered rhinos or people who are looking to become centrists. He's saying the America Party is the party for you. And I think that's only going to hurt one side come midterms.
Yeah. And, you know, going off of that, too, with the social media platform, we know President Trump has been very vocal on Truth Social and, you know, shared a statement, which Christine Frizzell broke down in her package a little bit, and, you know, basically said he's off the rails, you know, that Elon Musk is, you know, having some kind of issue or something, and put it on Truth Social. And I saw Elon Musk replied to a screenshot of it and said, "What's Truth Social?" on Twitter.
Yeah.
Pardon me, on X. So, you know, it's this very unique back and forth that we're witnessing play out.
And I mean, this divide really just comes down to the big, beautiful bill, which Elon Musk was an outspoken critic of as soon as he left Doge and as soon as his days working with the federal government were done. He came out hours later and called it a big, beautiful mess or something of that nature, telling people that it was going to add something like $3.3 trillion to the national debt, and really just do away with everything that the Doge team, he says, has worked hard to do and save the American people from themselves from overspending.
Right. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
This is just the beginning.
Very beginning.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, stick around. When Arc Rochester returns right here on Fox, Stephannie will be breaking down some of our top political headlines.
Yeah, your political pulse is coming up next.
Is it RKRC? Is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Sorry.
You can take a seat right there.
All right.
And have you been with us before? Will just be me on camera, and then we'll go into the interview. It is slated for about 7 minutes in total.
Wow.
So a bit of time, so feel free to go into detail.
Okay.
It's our time to talk Texas.
Okay.
Can I get a mic check from you real quick?
What do you?
From our guests?
Hi.
We can have you count, yeah.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4.
In today's Political Pulse, we're taking a closer look at another element of the One Big Beautiful Bill signed into law last week. Proponents promise sweeping tax cuts in the bill, some of which are made permanent from 2017. Other areas of tax relief include removing taxes on tips and overtime through 2028. There's also a higher child tax credit. Now, with all the updates and changes, it may be hard to track what the latest spending bill could mean for you. To help navigate the impact on your wallet, I'm joined now by tax partner at MMB+CO, Christina Stamatis. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
There is a lot to get into here.
There is.
I guess one way to approach it is maybe breaking things down into categories. If we can start first with parents, talking about that tax credit.
Sure. So parents are going to see an increase in their child tax credits. In addition to that, every baby born in America through 2028 is going to receive $1,000 from the government. That is going to be put into a savings account and is going to grow tax deferred until they're 18. And at that time, they can use that money for qualified expenditures such as education or starting a business or even buying their first home.
Wow.
And another perk related to that is that family members can contribute up to $5,000 a year into that child's account, and that will also grow tax deferred. So really encouraging savings from the get-go.
For sure. And I think a lot of parents hearing something like that, they want to know how soon they can expect to either start that account or maybe just to start claiming that tax credit.
Exactly. So a lot of the provisions within this one big massive bill are effective immediately, even retroactive till January of 2025. There are some smaller provisions that are going to be rolled out in the next couple of years. But so now we're at, okay, it's signed, implementation. How is this, how can we start this immediately? And that's the guidance is just going to keep coming out on that. So we've got the law, now we're going to say, okay, how do we make it happen? What are the mechanics behind everything? And we'll see that coming out.
For sure, something to keep an ear out for.
Yes.
Another thing that we've been hearing about for some time, the no taxes on tips, no overtime. So one, if we can break down what that looks like, I feel like for a lot of people, they think it stops at the cash on the table when it comes to the waitress, for example. But tell us a little bit more about that.
So, I mean, there's some details to be ironed out in that area, but the tips, there's already specific guidance on how those tips need to be reported. They need to be reported separately on a W-2, or you need to self-report them with a different form. So it needs to be reportable. You need to have a reference to it, a document, and the no tax on tips is capped at $25,000, but still that's a significant amount. And then again, overtime, the no tax on overtime is capped at $12,500, but again, that needs to be now reported on the employee's W-2.
And this would be for anyone who's new coming into the workforce as well?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think those kind of incentives are people that are maybe a little bit younger coming into the workforce so that they get some immediate tax relief. In addition to those, they'll see an increase in their standard deduction as well. So I think those provisions are really aimed at immediate middle-class tax relief.
For sure. And another part of this, the seniors, for example, when it comes to Social Security.
Yes. So there was some fighting for no tax on Social Security. We didn't quite get that far, but what they did finally end up doing was a deduction for seniors over age 65 of $6,000 individually off of their income, which essentially helps get to the same result.
For sure. And compared to previous years, how much of a difference is this with this deduction this year?
With the $6,000 deduction? Well, that's brand new. So that's in addition to the regular standard deduction. And seniors have always had an enhanced standard deduction. So this is really, they're going to see a big benefit from this, some significant tax savings.
And that would be something to pay attention to for the next tax filing season?
Absolutely, for when you file your 2025 return.
Great.
Yep.
And I think one interesting element that you guys actually shared with me was about businesses, specifically entrepreneurs, and some of the things that they can claim now.
Yeah. So what this bill really did for businesses was extend a lot of the tax cuts that were enacted back in 2017. They were set to expire at the end of 25. So made permanent was a 20% deduction off of qualified business income. That was set to go away, and that's really helped smaller businesses stay on par from a tax perspective with larger C corporations and get that same sort of parity. So that has been made permanent. We have bonus depreciation, 100% bonus depreciation now, also made permanent, and that allows for businesses that are purchasing equipment or improvements to their building to deduct those costs in the year of purchase rather than spreading that deduction over several years.
And is there anything else about the bill, maybe specifically looking on a local and state level, that kind of comes to head with this?
Yes, and this is my favorite part of this bill because I think it's the most broad-reaching and most impactful, especially for New York residents, is the increase in the state and local tax deduction. Mm-hmm. So that was previously limited to $10,000, and I'm sure many people remember that because everyone said, oh, I don't itemize anymore, I take the standard deduction because I can't deduct all my taxes. So that's now been increased to $40,000. That means we can deduct up to $40,000 of state income tax and property tax, which is especially relevant in New York, which is a high income tax and high property tax state.
And Christina, if anyone would like to connect with you to maybe get some more help navigating these changes, how can they reach you?
Yes, well, you can find my contact information at mmBaccounting.com. You can follow me on LinkedIn, certainly reach out to me directly. The contact information is on the website, and I work with many closely held businesses and their related owners, so we're going to be advising our clients on how to best navigate this bill.
All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And be sure to stay with ARC Rochester for your top political headlines. We're back after this.
Okay, 9:30 on this Monday morning. Thanks for joining us on ARC Rochester. We have a lot to get to this morning. We're going to be talking to teen mental health advocate Tanvi Arakaputi coming up in just a few minutes as we wait for that Zoom segment to work. But in the meantime, it's going to be another beautiful, hot day out there. 88 will be the expected high for the day today, but we may see a rumble of thunder, rain shower mixed in there. I believe we have Mark coming along in a little bit to break that down a little bit closer.
Yeah.
But all in all, like, we had some really great weather for the 4th of July weekend.
Listen, 4th of July itself, weather-wise, spectacular across the board. I think the high that day was 78 degrees.
Yeah.
And it was truly a 4th of July to remember weather-wise. Then as we got our way into the weekend, things got warmer, things got downright hot out there yesterday.
Yeah.
Our 4th day of 90-degree temperatures this summer. I think the record to beat right now is 8 days. That's where we were at, I believe, last year. Yes. Meteorologist Mark McLean, why don't you come over?
Oh, wait, hold on. I think she might be logging in now. I can't see. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
she is. Mark, just hold on to your...
Listen, it's one of those days. It's a Monday. There are technical difficulties. We roll with the punches here on ARC Rochester. That's what we like to do. But as Abi mentioned, we are speaking with teen mental health advocate Tanvi Arakaputi. We're talking about mental health and bullying. It's not something easily discussed with a lot of teens, but a new youth-led action plan is providing the steps to help those who are in need.
Yeah, so this morning we're getting a closer look at how students are becoming powerful advocates for each other. We're joined now by our good friend and teen mental health advocate, Tanvi Arakaputi. Tanvi, how you doing, girl?
Good. Thank you so much for having me here today, Dan and Abby.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure to talk with you. Tanvi, you know, being a teenager is really tough. There is no shortage of bullies in the world. And it seems like as you're growing up and when you're a teenager, they just lock in. And, you know, it can be really hard to deal with. Give us, you know, some of your advice before we talk about this teen action plan.
Definitely, of course. So I believe like seeing myself and my peers struggling with these challenges, mental health challenges caused by anxiety, stress, but also bullying. Honestly, the big reason behind it is fear. Fear of being unable to explain ourselves, fear of being judged for saying what we're going through, but also the stigma being built up for generations around this topic, and the lack of awareness around mental health makes it so much harder if we do see someone getting bullied or if we're getting bullied ourselves to accept that we're going through challenges and it did affect our mental health. But I'm excited to change that dialogue, and knowing stats show that 67% of youth worry to tell others like about their challenges because they don't want to put the burden on others. It just really shows how now is a time to change the dialogue so we can turn the conversation, even if it's awkward at the beginning, but we can potentially save a life.
How do we change that conversation? And I like the fact that you mentioned awkward there in the beginning, because for a lot of people, it can be awkward to talk about their own mental health struggles. So how do you approach it in a fashion that is most comfortable and puts someone at ease right out of the gate so that you can have an open and honest conversation?
Definitely. So I'm excited to introduce the 3-step action plan that I've created, seeing a lack of any framework for youth to help their peers. And like you said, it should be an easy conversation to start it, at least to check in with your peers. So I broke it down into 3 simple steps. The first one is to check in. Let's say my friend just failed their math test. I can check in. How are you really doing? If you need anything, I'm here for you. I'm always ready to talk. So letting them know and opening that dialogue. And then the second one is when they're ready, listen. They're talking about what they're going through. Just try to sit down, listen. Of course, some people are talkative like me, so it can be hard to take that moment not to talk, but to listen. But it can make a big difference. And then when your friend completes talking, it brings us to the 3rd step. Be a supportive ally. Saying thank you for sharing, because we all know it's hard to share what we're going through. But then offering 3 things you can do for them. The first, you can continue lending a listening ear. Or the second is to share a coping strategy, and the third is sharing your advice or story. The most important thing to do if you're a youth is to make sure that you're not putting all the responsibility on you. Of course, help your friend check in, do the 3 steps, but then also loop in a trusted adult, maybe a counselor, a teacher, who can also help in the situation.
Yeah, that is a really good point.
I love the fact that twice in this action plan, it's about listening. Because I think when we see someone struggling, whether it's with mental health, something emotional, or, you know, just a bad day at work, we want to jump in and say, okay, what can I do to fix this? When that's not always the best solution. A lot of times the way you find the answer to that is just by listening, keeping your mouth shut, zipping it up, and just listening to what that other person has to say. And I would say a lot of times all they want is someone to listen. They don't need you to take action. They don't need you to fix the situation for them. They need to be heard.
Exactly. Like, I know coming back as a teen from a hard day of school, stressed about so many things, I just want someone to listen to me when I get home, to say all the things that I've been going through, the challenges, the stress, anxiety, someone being present, showing that they care for you and spending that moment. A lot of teens, when I share this framework, which is also vetted by professionals, they ask me, I don't know what to say to my friend. It's really awkward. I want to help them, but I don't want to say the wrong thing. And the biggest advice for that I would give is sometimes you don't need to say anything at all. Just reassuring them they're okay, and then continuing to listen, giving them the space and time. Because better than solutions, it's really important to be present for them in that situation based off how you know them as well.
Yeah. Tanvi, you are amazing and you have such great insight. You have so many other resources too that young people can take advantage of. Give us the rundown. There's a game, there's a website. Lay it all out for us.
Of course, and I'd also quickly like to share that the 2025 to 2026 Nexus Youth Board applications are out. So if you're a youth 6th through 12th grade passionate about mental health advocacy through research, storytelling, social media, go to nexus4schools.com and apply now by July 14th. And then if you want to check out the book, the emotion cards deck, and more about Nexus, you can also visit tanvi.us. I'm excited to collaborate with any youth, and let's make this a national movement and global to help our peers in their mental health journey.
Tanvi Arakapudi, Speaker of the House by 2040, President of the U.S. by 2044. Thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Time right now, 9:37. Much more to get to this morning on Arc Rochester. When we come back, another check of the forecast with meteorologist Mark McLean.
Hey, and don't forget, you can watch us on the go wherever you are. Arc Rochester is streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. Stick around. We're back on the other side of the break.
Welcome back. Mark is here joining us once again. We're going to get another check of the forecast. It's going to be hot and humid. Mark?
Yeah. 92 yesterday, right? I mean, that's up there. I mean, it's not a record, but some of the records this time of the year historically are the highest. We could do weather trivia on this.
Oh, boy.
Did we do that? Weather trivia yet? What was the hottest day?
Yeah.
On record?
We did?
I feel like we did that.
We did do that. Okay. Well, then I can spill the beans now. Some of the records are into the hundreds, this time of the year. So, 92 is up there, but it's not necessarily record territory. But if you want to cool off, we've got this gigantic body of water to the north.
What's that body of water called?
Like the Atlantic Ocean?
Ontario? Ontario.
Sounded up.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Buoy temps at 67. Some of the surface water temps are getting close to 70 along the shore, so it felt pretty good yesterday, I can tell you that for sure. Waves 2 feet or less, that south breeze 5 to 15, but we do have to watch out for a passing thunderstorm. So if you're going to beach it today, just keep that in the back of your mind.
How far out is that buoy that we get the temp from?
So the water intake is actually in Greece, and I want to say it's 1,500 feet out and 30 feet down, something. We used to write weather articles for the Democrat and Chronicle. I remember that being one of the questions, but it's been a while. So I think it's 1,500 feet and then 30 feet down.
Writing weather articles for the DNC while you worked here?
Yeah.
A little
we did
double
for years.
dip in action?
Yeah, we did for years. We did that, probably 15 years or so, I'd say. Yeah. And the days gone by.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? We're talking about dry weather recently. Another thing that could cool us off, right? If we catch a shower or thunderstorm with that cold front when it comes through. So we'll keep you posted on that. Right now, it doesn't look like anything too crazy, but 79 degrees. The dew points are in the upper 60s. That number is going to get into the 70s this afternoon. So how you feel is going to be kind of soupy. Yeah, it's tropical. I just stepped out. That's how maybe it's on the border of steamy and soupy right now. Not truly soupy, but it will be this afternoon. And when those dew points hit the mid 70s, satisfying again for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a little bit sticky to end the week. And we've got, again, a little bit of cloud cover out there. We're looking back to the west and starting to see some shower development over Lake Erie. That's all out ahead of that cold front. And when that cold front comes through, we're going to have a chance for a passing thunder shower. So lunchtime, early to mid-afternoon, especially south and east of Rochester, we're going to see that chance light up pretty well. And I think by mid to late evening, we're done with most of this. So probably by 7, 8 o'clock tonight, it looks like that rain chance starts to really fade away. But forecast-wise, we'll reach the mid to upper 80s before that rain threat comes through, drop back into the mid and upper 60s overnight tonight. So not nearly as Florida-like as it's been. Lower humidity with that north breeze at 5 to 10 in the 7-day forecast for us. Does have more comfortable air. I guess Tuesday, Wednesday. 79 feels cool, doesn't it? Now with all these 80s and 90s. It looks like an outlier. But that 3 months ago would have been a heat wave.
Well, what I noticed is recently, Friday, for instance, with not so much, with a lower humidity out there, that 78 degrees, it's just downright perfect.
It was fantastic. I mean, the weather, the whole 4th of July weekend, it's tough to get all 3 days because everybody has plans, but usually just on one day. We had our gathering on Friday. The weather was fantastic for it, but a lot of folks had Saturday, Sunday plans, and it just worked out.
Yeah.
If it was outside, it worked out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Nothing to complain about.
Yeah, very true, which is rare for us.
Honestly. Well, after the Tanvi segment, I feel like we shouldn't complain.
We got to at least wait till tomorrow.
Complaint department's full right now.
Yes. No more paperwork accepted for the day.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
Mark.
you, sir.
Time right now, 9:44. When we come back, we're taking a look at some of the stories that have people talking this Monday morning.
We're back right after this.
Time to see what's trending this morning, starting off with a bridezilla who had a very specific ban at her wedding.
Yeah, the bride revealed that she banned water bottles at her outdoor wedding because they didn't fit the aesthetic. They clashed with the vibe of the wedding.
Oh my God. All right.
Till death from dehydration do us part.
Nice, Ashley.
That was good.
According to the post written by one of the guests, temperatures hit a scorching 102 degrees.
The bride reportedly refused to allow plastic or reusable bottles.
I'm surprised Dan doesn't have his.
Do you want to stay on the loudspeaker and just do the whole story for us?
Sorry.
We did a whole segment on bullying. Be nice.
Yeah, what happened to the last segment there?
I think she just didn't realize. I think she didn't realize that she's got the loudspeaker still on.
Yeah, I was talking to Mark.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Did not want plastic or reusable bottles at the ceremony, leaving guests to bake in the heat with nothing, nada, zilch.
The post said the bride didn't want to see water bottles in her photos, so she told staff working to turn anyone with one away.
The post did say that one guest did pass out during the vows because of the heat.
After the ceremony, there was a single hydration station tucked in a corner with a staff member pouring chilled water into dainty glasses one at a time.
Commenters were quick to call out the bride for being ridiculous.
Others were saying it's her wedding. Why should she settle?
I'm saying it's unfortunate that it was one of the guests that passed out and not the bride for heat exhaustion. What an asinine rule. You're not allowed to bring water to the wedding? I'd say, guess what? Where's the table? I need to take my gift back. I'm going home.
Hey, Ashley, where was this story out of?
So the comment was posted to Reddit.
Okay. All right.
It was like one of those forums.
Yeah.
Bad guys, stuff
Yeah.
Like that.
Thank you. People are just ridiculous. If you want to have a water bottle, bring your water bottle to the wedding.
And thinking about it, it's an outdoor wedding. It's July. I'm assuming this is July.
102.
102. You know ahead of time. And it is really easy to just get some plain, simple, disposable water bottles. If you're worried about the aesthetic, guess what? You can get little wrappers, you know? Bob and Cindy's wedding, 2025. Like, there were solutions other than to have,
or
this.
have plain glass bottles on hand.
How about the focus should be on the bride and the groom, not on the aesthetic, right? If that's what you're worried about when you're getting married, like, I don't know. Wouldn't you be more worried about, like, your husband passing out or your bride passing out or grandma in the front row getting heat stroke and sunburn?
Well, really and truly, think of the elderly guests there.
And on top of it, you think about the wedding venue. If you were the wedding coordinator, because most venues have one, wouldn't you say, hey,
safety hazard?
Yeah,
no.
We're gonna be passing out like bigger glasses. If you're really concerned about guess what?
Yeah.
No dainty glasses. We're giving the big ones, and
big gulps full of water.
No charge.
Yeah, absolutely. Those things from 7-Eleven. Everybody gets a gallon.
Yeah.
All right, we got to move along to another story. A new study, most people say that they become a different version of themselves when they go on vacation.
Okay, according to a study conducted by Fay Travel Insurance, nearly 60% of travelers have an alter ego that they become.
Some say they take part in unexpected behaviors and risks. Some even prefer to tell white lies about their identity while away from home.
Some say they're more friendly and happier on vacation.
Of course they're happier on vacation.
58% of people say they become more arrogant and snobby.
About what? The fact that they're on vacation?
All right.
It was mostly towards others. Waiting, like waiters, staff at
Oh,
hotels.
well, that's just gross.
All right, well.
If you're doing that, you don't deserve a vacation.
Yeah.
I say get back to the job. I don't know. I think I remain myself while on vacation.
I'm definitely happier.
Of course, yeah. Absolutely.
1,000,000% happier, more relaxed. It takes me like a day or two to get there. I mean, I'm a little high strung in case you couldn't tell.
Listen, I would argue that it takes probably about 4 days to get there, because no matter where you go, you're dealing with a time difference coming off of these hours.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, you've got a good point.
And you can't just switch to that normal people schedule in 12 hours. It doesn't work.
But you have to be kind to everybody. That's like general rule of thumb.
General rule of existing.
Yeah. And as for like white lies, no. My career, I've definitely like kind of smoothed over it before, because I don't want to be like, I anchor the news in Rochester.
So what do you say?
I always go journalist. And then I'll switch the topic very quickly, you know?
Okay.
I'm a journalist. This flan is amazing. Have you tried it? That's usually how it goes.
All right, let's move on. One man is asking for other opinions after he took drastic measures to keep his lunch safe. His lunch.
In a viral post, the man explained that his workplace offers a communal kitchen with one fridge. Ooh, I already have problems, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, he says that for over a month now, his entire lunch continues to be stolen.
He explained this isn't just a sandwich or snacks. It is a full-on home-cooked meal that continues to be snatched up.
He said he posted a message in an office group chat asking the thief to stop, but nobody took responsibility, and it continued to happen.
He became so fed up that he decided to buy a mini fridge and place it under his desk with a lock.
Listen, I'm on board. He said it resolved his issue, but coworkers have confronted him, saying he's acting weird and selfish. No, he's acting within his right to eat the lunch that he packed and brought to work and not feed you the food that he paid for.
That is the most insane thing.
What?
That they're calling him rude and selfish because he doesn't want his lunch taken?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think it's weird and selfish to think that that's weird and selfish. Anybody who has a mini fridge under their desk is a friend of mine. 100%.
Let people do their thing.
Yeah.
Just because you have to put your food in the community fridge doesn't mean everybody else has to.
I know.
Problems. There are rules when it comes to like office etiquette and food. You don't eat anybody else's food.
Mm-hmm.
If there is like communal food, you don't take more before everybody else has had some. And like you got to be reasonable with what you take.
Well, and when it's been in there for, 2 weeks, you don't just continue to open the fridge and close the door and let it rot. You throw it away. Right? Right?
Yes.
Is everyone in the 13 WAM building watching this right now? I just want to make that clear. Throw it away. Stick around. When ARC Rochester returns, it's our final thoughts.
We're back after this.
Nope. Time for our final thoughts on Arc Rochester. Has anybody out in the newsroom checked that fridge recently?
Ooh.
It's bad.
That one in the newsroom is.
I don't go in there.
You can't.
No.
You can't.
It needs caution tape.
Yeah.
It could cure some diseases, probably.
Oh, absolutely.
Penicillin.
The amount of mold growing in there.
You put your lunch in there, yes?
Not today.
Not what? Wait, what's in there now?
No, I mean, it's packed now, but there's some old vegetables that are taking up the one open spot, so.
Old vegetables, how old?
Probably a few days.
Yeah, a few days. That does it for us here on Arc Rochester. Wake up with us tomorrow morning starting at 4:57 on
You'll get it. You'll get it. 13 Wham, ABC.
Right.
Much more live local news later today for us.